talking about how to, reduce credit card debts. So to tell us more, based on their perspective, we have Ms. Carol Yip. Yes, she's also the author of The Smart Money User, the book which I showed you earlier on, and also the CEO of the Abacus Advisory, Sendirian Berhad. So today we will be talking about one thing, which is on how can one person manage their credit card debts. So maybe first of all, I did pose this question as in based on what you had mentioned in your book. Well, we do have a physical self, our spiritual self, our emotional self, and we have a money self. This is something new to us. I mean, is it closely related to the psychological self? Is that it?
Yeah, actually, basically, a self is who you are, right? And when we talk about money, a lot of people somehow have a different self. You know, have you seen people who are greedy, they're selfish, you know? So when you talk about money,
it's like we have seen people, but we have not seen that side when we don't talk about money. And when it comes to money, you can see the person's true colors, change, right? Everything comes out really.
Especially if they let's play a bet, then you start to see how greedy the person can be, and they say about a bet, how much they want, and things like that. So somehow money do change that person, how the person behaves. And that's where when we talk about credit card, the credit card is just a means for you to buy something, but behind it, what does that mean, How that give you the personality. And especially just now you mentioned earlier, people go and shop to buy things, they want to feel good about themselves, or they want to, look good on themselves, because somehow there's some self that they want to show off, and that's how money can actually represent. That's the reason why I've written the book. It has become a program now. It's an education program that we actually teach the young people, especially the teenagers aged from 16 until university, college students, to tell them, money has to be learned by themselves, from the parents, and from people around them. Because we only learn from experiences and we act on it. And we're happy, of course, Harp University, Gerard has, agreed to conduct this through the Career Science Department, because when the kids go to school, they get a degree, the intention is to make money. So when you make money, your first paycheck, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to spend it all, or are you going to start saving? Because when you start to
that's a tough question, because especially when it comes to each and every one of our first paycheck, I can remember that one. It's like, it's my own money, I can use it on whatever I want. I don't have to ask money from my parents. So it's kind of different, isn't it, right?
That's right.
How do you get rid of a bad habit in your behavior system? I mean, in a person's behavior system.
Well, as you know, habit is a repetitive action. Right? Like if you have a habit of drinking coffee in the morning, so every morning you get up and have a cup of coffee. So what is that action all about? It's basically saying that your mind has been programmed that every morning when you wake up, you want to go and have a coffee. So if you want to break the habit, you have to rethink about what you thought about it. So once you start to control the mind, as in like control your thinking power or your ability, then your mind will then say, okay, maybe today I don't want to have coffee. How about that? Let's try it. So once you do a new action of not having a coffee, then you have these emotions and feeling that will come, right? Because that part of that emotion is actually giving you the feeling of whether you feel good or you feel bad.
So it's definitely not to a point where it's like a computer. You have a delete button there.
You don't have,
and that's it. Everything is erased.
You said it right.
So it's different.
It's very different. That's the reason why when you say, why is it so difficult to change our behavior or habit? Because some people, like Gerard said, state of denial, don't want to try it because we don't know whether it's a risk, where we might not get what we want. So that's where the fear comes in. So I always strongly believe that we must know our feeling very well, our emotions, because emotions are the ones that should give us our happiness, our sadness, and depression and stress. So that's the reason why a lot of people say, oh, I'm so stressed today, let's go shopping. Why? Because when I go shopping, I see a lot of nice things, so I feel good. So that's where once you are able to handle it, handle yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, then your actions will come accordingly. So that's what I always say in my program, that young people must know what they feel, because young people like to be with friends, and that's why they always say peer pressure. Because my friend has a Nokia handphone,
Right.
the latest 3G. Hey, I want it too.
Yeah. Coming back to the book again on the smart money user, okay, by Carol. You have one chapter where you have covered the 5 principles of success for a young adult. So can you share with us what are the 5 principles?
The principles are very simple. Basically, is first you must know who you are. You know, what's your purpose in your life as a young adult? You know, because all of us are young before. So at that time, sometimes it's very difficult to know what our purpose are.
Yes.
So that's where parents comes in very to support, to make them understand. And of course, schools, teachers, friends. Of course, friends these days also, among the peers, sometimes they do have a lot of challenges.
Yes.
You know, they really don't know what they want to do when they come out from school. Especially nowadays, there's so many things that attract them. Internet, especially. Computer games, digital technology. So with all these influences, first of all, they must really ask them a really hard question. What are they for? You know, as a young adult, what do they want in life? And once you have that, then next you need to do, am I doing the right thing now? Because
Right.
every step that you take from now until you grow old, that will create results. Just to add on, also, you know, life is difficult. I mean,
For a lot of people,
yeah.
especially when you're living
Correct.
in an urban area.
Especially.
Yeah.
And also nowadays, there's so many unpredictable factors. You know, it could be economic situation, right? It could be even health. You know, these days you hear a lot of young people, they actually have stresses, you know, that cause them into, you know, heart failure, you know, cancer and all these things. So all these factors sometimes cannot be controlled. But if this young person really know, as in like when he knows his weaknesses and his strength, then he know how to balance himself up. And if he knows that he's weak in certain area, he must be able to approach somebody to help. Because a lot of time we keep secrets to ourselves. Even like money, we don't tell people, you know. Even you have debts, you know, you don't tell people because it's an image problem. So that's where things start to begin to roll. It's a snowballing effect.
Right.
If you don't seek help, soon enough, when you start to have this disease creeping in and create you pain, it could be too late. That's what bankruptcy is all about. You know, we don't tell people we cannot pay our debts. So when we start to have a letter coming from the bank, then we know, oh dear, we're in trouble. So that's where maybe sometimes it's a bit too late to help the person, but like I will say, counseling is a very important way of helping this person, you know, to get back into the right step. I think it all has been said that it's actually actions. Action speaks louder than words. You can talk about it over and over again, but if you don't take action, you will never know you will get the results or not. So
Okay, so thank you very much. So here is the contact number, the website and all again. That one is for Carol Yip. Yes, we have it here for you. You can take that down. Telephone number is 0377262298 and her email is info@abacusformoney.com and the website is www.abacusformoney.com.